Listen to Joe Biden here in 2020, where he's actually saying that President Trump is wanting to take us into war. You can't make this up. And I'm like, I hadn't even seen this. Literally in 2020, he's sitting there saying that Trump is wanting to take us to war. Listen.
The world has changed because of what Trump has done. And the American people, including independents and some Republicans, know how bad he is, know how much he's misrepresented, know how he's getting close to getting us in a war.
Look how close he is to getting us into war. You hear this? He's saying that President Trump in 2020 was close to getting us in war, and President Trump kept us out of war. I've been posting this little meme on different places, and I said a weak man will take us into war. A strong man will keep us out of war. President Trump kept us out of war. Listen.
I said, as the walls close in on this man, I'm worried he's going to get us to war in Iran. Unfortunately, I may have been right. The fact of the matter is there's a lot at stake in this election.
Wow.
He literally said that Trump was going to take us to war with Iran.
Here he is getting us into war.
Here it is getting us into war.
We are by proxy already in one. Now, you can literally say we're in the Israel war. We already have troops there on the ground.
Yeah, we already have troops on the ground. And we just sent more troops. We sent more troops to Israel. So we can't ignore what Joe Biden has done. Again, a strong man will keep us out of war. A weak man will take us into war because a weak man has something to prove. But you even have, and look, I'm not going to sit here and toot my own horn because I was calling it out and I kept saying that the Democrats, they want to look at Joe Biden and they want Joe Biden to be perceived as a wartime president. Now, look, I kept saying it. Look at this next clip. This was on Fox News. They had a Democrat go on Fox News and listen to what he says about Joe Biden and this time of war. Listen.
Look, I think this thing's going to have to play out more. You can't really judge what's happening in a conflict in the middle or even the beginning of the conflict. I think Democratic voters at the end of the day are not going to vote for Donald Trump.
Okay. He said Democratic voters. There's no such thing as Democratic voters. And a lot of people don't know this. It's the Democrat voters. Or what if you leave out the demon? It's Democrat voters. There's no Democratic voters. There's no such thing. It's not the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat Party. There's nothing democratic about these demons. Nothing at all. But listen to what he's saying, because he's saying that people are not going to vote for President Trump. There's a lot of people out there right now screaming that they want Trump to come back. They liked it better when it was under President Trump. My buddy Ben Bergquam in New York had a video of this black guy saying, I want Trump. I want Trump. Listen to this.
Over Joe Biden. I think if he does well here, though, and he has been a strong supporter of Israel, he is going to pick up independent voters and have access to the real voters that, remember, right now in most of these horse races, Trump is beating him in my poll by 4 or 5 points.
Right.
He has to make up among independent voters and prove that he can be a wartime president. And he's doing a pretty good job so far.
All right, Mark Penn and Mark Thiessen.
You hear this? Saying he's doing a pretty good job so far. I told y'all this is exactly what they're going to be pushing for. They're literally going to push us into war because they want to make it to where, well, we don't want to switch right now in the middle of a war. This could be the war of all wars. World War III? World War III? Are you kidding me? World War III, and they're literally trying to take us into war. They're trying to take us into war. Now listen to this one. This is Iran. Again, talking about all of this insanity. We're at a proxy war with Iran. Iran's at war with Israel. We're helping Israel. We're helping Iran. Talking about funding both sides of the war. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Listen to this one. Listen to this as they're talking about activating American troops, our men and women, to go overseas. Watch this.
We've been clear. President's been clear, and I have been clear, Vice Chair, that if this doesn't stop, then we will respond. And so We maintain the right to respond. We have the capability to do that, and we will respond at a time and place of our choosing.
You see this? We have every right. We have every right. Same thing with Israel. And a lot of people got upset with me. A lot of people got angry with me. People got angry with me because of my stance with Israel, because I support Israel. A lot of people got frustrated with me. Like, Will, you don't understand. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's liberalism. There's liberal Jewish people. There's liberal black people, liberal white people. It's liberalism is the problem because there are conservative Jewish people.
I mean, I think he's literally saying we're just not going to tell you when we're going to do it. Don't you think that's what that sounded like?
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Because Israel, you had the United Nations here recently said that they've all voted overwhelmingly voted for Israel to do a ceasefire. And if y'all notice that they didn't do a vote to get Palestine to do a ceasefire. And you know why? Do you know why they didn't do a vote to get Palestine to do a ceasefire, Shannon?
Because they're not going to.
No, that's not the reason.
Well, okay.
I'm talking about the United Nations.
I mean,
Israel's not stopping with their their invasion, if you want to call it that. It's not even invasion. Their retaliation against them killing him. They're not going to stop, but they still ask Israel to do a ceasefire.
Yeah.
Why did the United Nations not ask the Palestinian people to do a ceasefire?
Or Syria or Lebanon.
Why didn't they ask the Palestinian where Hamas is in the Gaza Strip?
Yeah.
Why didn't they ask them to do a ceasefire? It's a real simple answer. Most people won't even know. You know why? Do you know why?
Well, I just said because they're not going to stop.
No, because there's no state called Palestine.
Yeah, so they can't.
So
have
they
them
can't
stop.
address a nation that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. The United Nations can't address Palestine because it does not exist. You have people that call themselves Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, but there's no nation called Pakistan, or there's no nation called Palestine. There isn't one. That's the reason why they don't. And at the same time, they go after Israel because Israel, they for the most part, like you and I, we follow the law. See, they find it easy to go after us, like law-abiding citizens here in the United States of America, when it comes to gun control. But when it comes to gun control, they don't tell the criminal to stop being criminals. Why? Because they don't talk to criminals. Criminals are going to be criminals. Criminals are going to do their thing. Same thing. Hamas are going to do their thing. But see, then they come after us, the law-abiding citizen, gun control, for an example here, because we follow the law, and they said we're soft targets. So they can disarm us, tell us to do a ceasefire, put down our weapons, while the criminals are saying no. We're going to continue being criminals. Hamas is going to continue being Hamas.
You like the content Will Johnson is producing? To stay informed and up to date with the current events, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Also, to find Will Johnson, visit www.uaf.media.